today's topic will be the transformation process. And let's hope the wind plays along with what we want to do, as in the wind of change. I say people some say change is coming, change is here. Change is always. Depends on how you look at it, what the perspective of that is, what you decipher as change, you perceive as change. So to this is the message to those among you that are sensitive. And some are extremely sensitive. And some think they're going nuts right now. As more sunlight, more plasma, more light particles, everything is more. Experience, life, relationships, love, everything to be perceived and to looked at under a microscope what that really is and what have we turned that into. And what have we done to ourselves, or what did we let happen? So the sensitive ones feel right now, and I explained that in the video Eating Right and the video The Diet Myth, in part how that can help. So if you go through a transition, first of all, you gotta eat transitional. How long that will take, nobody knows. It is what it is. So here's the following thing. Many people that I have interviewed told me that, well, I had some food, some heavy food, and I went to the movies and I freaked out, total panic attack. So, lesson here is, do not eat and go into the movie theater because you're stressing your system now. Okay, you are purer now. You're more sensitive. Those that don't feel that, you are a little bit number in that department. Nothing bad there, but your sensory will show you where you are in your development. So you can't eat steak or burger, all that crazy stuff, and then sit in a movie theater and get blasted with information. Your body is only able to process one big process at a time. It's either you're watching something, or you're reading, or you're learning, or you're eating. But TV dinner, you can forget about that. You can actually X that. Not beneficial for your growth right now. Eating and watching TV, you open your heart gate, you're susceptible to all types of subliminal messages that you do not need right now, and your body has to double the work. Make it easy on your system and make it easy on your body by bless your food. Make sure you know where your food comes from somewhat. Energize the food with affirmations. Back then, your grandma and grandpa, what did they do? Blessings. Bless your food. Bless what nourishes you. And those that are super sensitive, now it comes to you're breathing in light particles, you're breathing in more sun, plus you need more sunlight. Those who take monoatomic gold or ormus will also feel that they have less of a need of eating. That is normal. If you're less hungry, eat less. Watch your weight, watch your protein, watch your carbs. That has to do with your perception of how your body needs to be nourished. If you're down to, let's say, a plate a day, and it doesn't matter what your style is of eating, you're not losing weight, that tells you that you're more efficient. There have been reports of Arcturian channelings that I've read, and that is exactly what I'm going through. Your lung has a higher capacity now to work with oxygen. But that also means if you live in, let's say, a smog area, and I'm not talking electro-smog, and you feel you're close to asthma all of a sudden, or you have allergies out of the blue, well, you have to do something about that. See, I moved into an area where nature is dominant, more so, where I have a lot of wind. I got the messages, either be in a place where there's a lot of wind, transitional things, you need that in your change in your body, in your system, or be in an area where water is close or in reach for you, so you can integrate these light particles better into your body. So meaning, science has proven that when planetary systems and light and everything changes, well, life evolves in very quick. Now, can you imagine that your DNA changes and rearranges all the time? All the time. Meaning, like, if you would have a time traveler from the 1800s and has never been in the future, guess what? He would last a week here because he couldn't handle the light particles and the acceleration of information data. He would have one psychosis after another. We have informational overflow, so watch your informational intake. Do yourself a favor. Don't pick fights. It's going to be more intense. Don't pick drama. Understand if you recreate scenarios that cause drama, you're the cause. You're right now ultimately directly in contact with what you're manifesting. Wherever you are right now in life, that is what you have manifest. Wherever you have let into your house, you have created that. Wherever you have control over yourself, when to retreat, and when to mingle with people, remember you're a sovereign being. You're in control. You do not have to go into zones that are stressful. You don't have to get in conflict with the law if that is not necessary. Have your things correct. Be correct. Be peaceful. Stay away from violent zones. And when people approach you aggressive or anything should approach you aggressive, then you get nonviolent. You cooperate. But I urge you, stay away from the stone throwers and the screamers and the rebels that want to climb the hill and burn down the castle, because you get caught up in the friction that is being caused now as planets aligning and adjusting. And it's not just Earth aligning. There are other Earth-like planets that are all aligning with us. We're all being watched and evaluated, what we do. Also know it comes down to choice. What is your choice? What is your choice at the end of the day? What's the consequence of that choice? Mutual agreements, love, life, relationships, how you talk amongst your partners, your friends. How open are you with your talk? How are you with giving your people space? I urge you, especially the starseeds, those with the knowledge that they know they're from another planet. They know they can contact ships. They can talk to crew members. They have telepathic exchanges. You need at times time out, at least one day a week. Do a hike or go somewhere. Be by yourself. That's what I do. I take my shoes off. I ground myself. Whatever. Take your shirt off. Be somewhere where there's nobody, no tourists, nothing. Lay down and ground yourself and let all of these thoughts run. Sometimes solitude, as in aka isolation, is necessary because the ego is continuously bombarded with stimuli from the external world, meaning Facebook drama, I don't know, police, CIA, government, and the president, and all of that stuff. Sometimes it has nothing to do with you getting a little meal or a little snack, sitting somewhere in the quiet for a moment where no codependency is. Also, I've seen that also with friendships and relationships, that we have created ourselves in such a codependent way. Like, honey, everybody needs something. Everybody is needy. Everybody is needy. Well, here's the first need that should be important for you is at times retreat. Be silent. If you have to bitch on your own. Do not drop your bitching on somebody else. If you're engaged in a conversation where somebody begins to drop negative news, you can say, you know what, when you come down from your funk, we may continue this conversation. I wish now to hang up the phone, because right now this is really very upsetting, and I feel you and I hear you, but I don't want to go in that direction. Not meaning to ignore you. I hear you and I feel you, but as the other side has no right to pull you out of your bliss so you can suffer with them, as in misery loves company. We no longer support that. That is no longer an option. The freedom is to step out of that by choice. Have your things in control. Control yourself, your peace, and your freedom, because that is your right. You're not obligated. You don't owe the world nothing. You owe yourself freedom. And if you cannot be of assistance to yourself, you're useless to the rest of the world if you want to help the world. So if you stress yourself, run through stress, run through complications to look at your life, why I'm doing these things. Maybe it's an addiction. Maybe, one cannot feel themselves, so they need this, I don't know, bully behavior out there. I've seen that too. To hear feedback from somebody says, hey, that's not cool what you're doing. I don't agree. And then people have the excuse of, I don't remember what I
did. Well, that is an affirmation that actually validates the argumentation as an emotional response that something must have occurred and I apparently do not remember, so I am not responsible. That is a psychological excuse of, I'm not giving you a platform to pin me down for my doing, so I don't have to say sorry. Here's the thing, fractally, if you can go back to a situation and say, I know why this happened now. If you can't go back to say sorry, that disharmonious fractal is left open with that person. And either it's harmonized or it's not. But if you can make peace and bring it to a closure in a calm manner, then the golden fractals wrap around you when you begin to emanate good light and bliss, and you keep it clean. That's why monks sometimes disappear into the mountains and there's no engagement with nobody, so nothing ever is being created or started. So right now you are the monks and nuns without monastery. You're in life, but you have to find your solitude. You have to find your time where there's time out for you, time to relax, time to bring all of this to one. And then you hear your angels clearer. Then you hear, for those who are in clear contact, because I already have a few, in clear contact with their ET crew and their family members, you hear them better. Also, when you sleep in a tent outside, let's say in the wild, you have better dream connection. If you sleep out in the open, if it's warm enough, even better. The soul loves a free environment when you astrally leave the astral realm and go into the realms where the connections take place. They are here to assist you, they're here to help you integrate more conscious aspects of self, and you have higher functional guides, you have more sophisticated angels through, and it's all being released, it's all free. All you have to do is investigate. It's like you can watch a trashy YouTube video about makeup and people getting rich and people, I don't know, having one intrigue after another, and then study that. There's nothing wrong with that. Or you can find videos where somebody says, well, I recommend for you, you can do this and this and this and engage in these activities, and this can enhance actually your wealth and your life. And the information, in the video is free. That doesn't cost anything. You have to invest in yourself. Realize, how do I invest in myself? What do I invest? Do I need a freaking super hyper expensive, I don't know, car polish for my car because I want it shiny? Or is it enough when I go through the wash, but I get something that will enhance my brain frequency? Or how could I find an equilibrium? How can I also understand, don't bug people? I've seen a lot of action on Facebook where it's one-sided, one person is silent sitting and the other one sends 50, 60, 70, 80, I've seen up to 350 emails asking one question after another, never being silent, never realizing if it's one-sided and it's not in an equilibrium that the information is exchanged. You have one or two questions and you give somebody the ear to respond, and you can't come to terms with yourself, then something is wrong. We need to heal this behavior. It can't be that somebody has a problem or an issue and text messaging 200 messages because they can't let go of the ex. That's an issue. That's a problem. We have to look at this. Little words sometimes, seldom, sometimes it's welcome. Silence is golden. And what comes forth from that golden silence is platinum and diamonds. This is the gold mine, not the gold and the money you can inherit and everything, the inventions, the things that you channel, the things that you bring to earth, the things that you share with the populace, the things that we create, the wonderful things that enable you and me to converse. That's wonderful. So I'm out here in this environment, in the silence, just with me and what I feel, what's coming in, unscripted, just freely flowing, one take, and that's when life gets interesting, when it's not scripted, when you don't have a director say, cut, can we do this again? Cut, can we do this again? And loop, 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 loop till you get it right, but you haven't felt it. So I think maybe the best actors are the ones that participate in life. And the act is felt, is you becoming that who you are, not hiding yourself, not having a problem, knowing that there's nothing wrong with finding like minds that say, yes, I feel very much that I'm born on Earth. Yes, there's a human aspect, but I have aspects where I'm levitating, I'm flying, or I'm an amphibious being, and I meet these beings in dreams that I haven't seen in the wildest cartoons or science fiction. Psychologically, you cannot. Some people say epigenetics and blah, and you see that before, but you don't remember. Well, Carl Jung has made tests with the people living in the boondocks, I think in the 60s, that had no imagery of the things that we see today, and they could script that and draw it out. Aztec gods, Olmecan heads, saying, why do I know these things? Well, there is a field, there's a communication field, if you have watched the movie Avatar, and there's cell memory. It is also to believe now that if you can trace your past lives, and then the course of the DNA, you will find that your past lives are identical with your genetic path. This is one of the same things. You believe you have had a past life in Africa, well, that has to do with an ancestor and their cell memory that is within you. And they go dormant when life is being born, for you to find your way to connect with your lineage. And of course, those who connect with their ancestral lineage in their entirety, if you want to do a DNA test or whatever, you can inherit skills that have to do with DNA activation. And all of these things come forth when you get a little bit silent in your mind, you get a little bit quiet, you calm down, you allow yourself to come to terms with all the stuff that goes through your mind, everything that you want to complain about the world and this and that you want to talk about. The idea is to recalibrate the self. As you recalibrate the cells, and you come to terms with you, and that's the focal point, and that's where the magic is, and that's where things unfold. And now the wave patterns are so powerful that if you make a wish, it actually directly happens, but also it has a ripple effect with what does that wish do to you and then to your neighbor. How does that influence your partners, friends, friendships, group of people? When it unfolds, some will be jealous because they can accept the fact that you're in luck, that you're manifesting. Some will accept it and say, hey, that's wonderful, and you're having fun. Some will say you're selfish, it's all about you. It's because they realize the difference of, okay, well, that's something you can manifest a little bit better than I can. Well, maybe there's something that I have to do to practice that right, to manifest right. And when I do that in harmony and bring that harmoniously together, all your chakras light up. The etheric, the magnetic, the electric body merge into one body and synchronize. The brain goes into higher states. In the top 10 picks for ascension, or the awakening video, I show you a few modalities that are actually practical. If you invest into yourself, such as I always wear is my Gamatron keys, to get the light spectrum in your body up and know the changes. And everybody who has the key, I have wonderful testimonials. It's like I'm not in control of testimonials, and I don't have an idea. When I first released it was about produce it and see how the matrix responds. This is about resonance. Are you in resonance with words? Are you in resonance with what's being said? Is the message clear that's being relayed? And it's not about the mental capacity to dissect and separate and take apart what is. Even in this moment, when we talk, and you sit at home, it's about how do you feel? You're feeling good? You're enjoying yourself? You're feeling uplifted? You're feeling there's a resonance and a pattern where you like to go with that? Like Bashar said, then go with your high highest excitement, whatever that may be. The more you are in bliss, the more you speak winged words, the more you stay positive and speak clear, like I'm practicing that. That's also therapy. The more good things you will attract. That's just fact. You'll develop the sight to see these things, and that goes from realizing synchronicities to seeing ghosts, seeing ships, stars that move, colors that change, patterns that reoccur, people that you run into. Then you learn to read the matrix better, and you see clearer, and then you become a magi. I, nation of magi, is imagination. I, magi nation. You are the druid. You are the wizard. You are the creative and powerful being. And also know when some of us that are older transition, none of the concepts and things you want to do and wanted to do that I say in an ego matriculated situation locked to your left brain can come with you. You will lose the memory of those things. You can't bring war to the next realm. It's like you're trying to bring war to heaven. It's not going to happen. When you rise, you will be with all those who have risen. When you accelerate, you will be with all those who have accelerated. And when you see some that are slower, compassion. You know, nobody's better. But some are a little bit faster, some are a little slower. And you'll see that by the fruits of their labor. Whether they're producing, whether they're bringing forth. You know, if you have your shmuru from 50 years ago that talks the same life betterment things and doesn't substantiate in your life, well then move on. Find somebody else that tells you how to walk away from him in independence. That is all up to you. That is when it comes down to what? Your choice. So don't be afraid to make choices. Don't be afraid to be consequent. Meaning if you decide to go a certain path and that's it for you, stay on that path. When they say it's easier for a camel to walk through an eye of a needle than for a rich man to go to heaven, take that to heart. All the materialism that you have, all of this blocking thought pattern things that run you makes it very complicated to walk that thin line of righteousness, right and just. And it doesn't require for you to say namaste or live long and prosper or wear uniforms or robes. It only requires you to be. And the biggest task on this planet for the human race is only one thing. Become who you truly are. And on that note, I say I love you very much. I thank you so much for your support. This is Arcturian, and I see you again.